Hey guys, yeah, we're back. That was just a little technical issue, but we're back, man. Can't stop the allegiance, man. Never. So,
Nice.
well, yeah, what was that? So, what was you touching on there?
So we talk about Tielemans. So yeah,
Yeah.
Tielemans is yeah. So but when I see the way he gels in, I think yeah, it'll be a good fit. So yeah, I'm happy with that. And they linked with him as well.
Mm,
Apparently, I don't know, as I said to you, I've heard that they've agreed personal terms and stuff. So I think maybe Arsenal are just waiting to see get the price that they want. Do you know what I mean, towards the end, and
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
guess Leicester, they're a club, and Leicester's a selling club. They're not. You know what I
yeah.
mean, so I guess they're gonna want to get more money. They're not gonna want to wait till next season and then lose him for the free. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
So, yeah.
I'm
So
guessing
I'm.
that's what Arsenal are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I,
then
I
and
think
then the other
so.
Yeah, and then the other player that as you're saying, is a forward. I want another goal
Mm,
scoring forward. Yeah, I don't because
yeah.
obviously we've got Saka, but they're not goal scoring forwards or not that yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
when you need a goal, they're not that person to you can rely on to get that goals. So Jesus is that one. We've got Nketiah, you have one, which we're
mm,
hoping that yeah he he will step up from what we've seen because from what we've seen he hasn't really
yeah.
done that. And also when I look at last season, so yeah, but he did get a few goals last season. So yeah, he did get a few goals towards the end of last season. Really
Mm,
poor team. It was a poor Man United at that time. It was a very poor Chelsea at that time.
mm,
And then when we needed it though against when we needed it against like Spurs, for example, and he needed it against Newcastle.
mm,
Yeah, I mean, no one showed up. So I'm saying so it was
yeah,
something right. So I'd like to have another like
yeah,
someone that's like, known for scoring
yeah,
goals.
yeah,
And where you said obviously Sane, Gnabry, as I said, he's already signed
yeah.
his
Superstar,
new
yeah.
deal, so that's not gonna happen. Sane, oh yeah, I would like that to happen. Whether we like it to happen, I don't know. I just saw they smacked up a team the other day, so I don't know with Mane scoring again and that. So I don't know. He might be like intrigued to see how they do. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm.
then obviously, and also with Arsenal not being in the Champions League as well. Um, yeah, and then obviously maybe Bayern Munich still want to go back and win that Champions League
But
again. So
it
maybe
depends. It depends. It depends.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe next season maybe. But I don't know about that. So,
To,
but
what to get
I did
Sane?
have
For
yeah,
Sane.
yeah, ideally yeah, but I don't if something like that would happen. I'm not sure that'd be a good one pulled out of the bag.
Mm,
What I heard though was Bowen like and even though I like Bowen, it's an interesting one because I've heard that Bowen they've been talking to Bowen. What's your thoughts about that?
I like Bowen. I like Bowen. I think he'd be a good player still. I think he'd be a good player for us. I like Bowen. I think I even mentioned that to you one time. I think we were just sort of off camera. We were just having a little chit chat
I think
about.
so. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
Oh,
I
but
think.
same side
Hmm.
as is he the same side as Saka?
Yeah, he is. He is same side
And
as
that's the
Saka.
thing. And I
Yeah,
think that would be a weird one to do.
but they
Both
play
being
completely
English.
different. They play
Yeah, I'm
completely.
saying, but
Yeah.
which one of them you reckon's gonna want to say, yeah, I'm gonna be? Because if Bowen comes in, he ain't coming to be no backup to Saka.
And that's the whole point. I think. See, it's a tricky one. I think it's about how Arteta is going to utilize them. It's a long
So
season. It's a tricky one because Bowen for me has more that hunger and that drive. I could see
yeah,
Bowen
yeah,
just
yeah,
really bombing on and being a
yeah.
player. But at the end of the day, that's what we want. I love Saka. I think Saka's a fantastic young player, but we need to get results and we need to get back in that sort of Champions League. We
Mm.
need to do it. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do it this season, but we need
Well, get
to.
back in Champions League. You hope so. Well,
Yeah,
get back in
well,
Champions
listen, I hope so as well, but I still feel that I still feel that we're signing on too short. And if we can get another quality midfielder, someone like of the likes of Tielemans, I think our hopes are a little bit better. Because last year, sometimes our midfield wasn't all that. Let's put it that way. When Partey's injured, it was kind of like, we couldn't really bank on Lokonga, right?
League.
Like him, but it depends if Arteta wants to play him. There was times where he weren't playing, he wasn't really featuring certain times. He preferred to go with Xhaka, El Neni. El
Mm.
Neni, you're not gonna get nothing from him. He's literally, he's a safe player. Sort of bring him on, keep the ball retention. Let's just try and keep it nice and tight and keep it focused. That's what El Neni's there for. He's not there to be over creative or whatever. He's just there to sort of keep the engine running in midfield. That's El Neni for me. Xhaka as well, a bit of that. I expect more from Xhaka, but I think Xhaka, there has been times where he has showed up, where he's been a pretty decent player, um, experienced. So you can never really write him off. I know he has rash decisions sometimes, and sometimes he does rash things. But when he's good,
calmed that down though. Yeah, actually, even though he done other stuff, he has calmed it down a lot last season.
He has, and maybe it's a relationship he has with Arteta. Maybe, if we really check it, we're really judging him on passing, especially with um, Emery. When he's with Unai Emery under him, we're judging kind of his attitude. Then sometimes management, coaching staff, and everything. Sometimes it's different, and you just have a better rapport with them. And I'm hoping Arteta and Xhaka have that. But for me personally, who is that other midfielder that is strong and has that creativity and it's exciting?
You already said that. You already said Tielemans, isn't it? So
It's Tielemans. So if we can bring him in, I rank our chances to maybe push on for the top four. I really do.
Yeah, I want to have. I said I would like him and the midfielder and another goal scorer.
Now, as for another goal scorer, the thing with Bowen is, I wouldn't say he's sort of like he's not really an out and out goal scorer. He can score some good goals. He's a really good player, but
you know what kind of think what Arteta's doing? I don't know. I was thinking it recent that I think what I think he might be doing because the fact that he's going because you know me when I talk I say yeah, but I'm unapologetic about I don't have the kind of sentimentals about getting making the right team getting results. So the fact that he's saying that he's looking for forward, that's what they're saying as well. I'm thinking maybe he obviously he's got Jesus as the middle who can score goals. Yeah, and it seems like he's doing it so far, but we're gonna find out in the season. That's when we're gonna find out for real. But then I'm thinking maybe when he drops to Nketiah, he doesn't want to put that pressure on him, so he wants goal scoring attackers too. I mean, kind of like like he can like like Liverpool for example, and Liverpool and City, where they can the two wingers are goal scorers.
That's what I think. That's what
so
I think.
whereas in the one in the middle, like Firmino, for example, they can score double pick 10 goals or 15 goals, that's all right. But they're not highly like demanded on. So if he gets to a position where he has to play like Nketiah, he's still got he's getting goals from the left flank and the right flank.
Well, the thing with that is, I don't really want to compare them to the big boys. Let's just say, right? But if you look at Liverpool, yeah, like you said, there's about 3 of them. So you got Mane, you have Salah, and then obviously you got your Diego Jotas, you got your Firmino to contribute.
They're essential, innit? Yeah.
I don't think that we have that kind of quality goal scorers in those positions, basically.
That's what I think he might want that. So if, for example, because like you got to be real, real. Even if Jesus is banging, and he has a wicked season, it's very unlikely because no player really goes for the whole season just banging. No one does.
Yeah,
no one really does that. There's always a dip at some point. So then we're gonna obviously need goals from elsewhere, even if Nketiah plays. So I'm thinking maybe that he doesn't want that. With Nketiah has to do that. All that pressure is not on him that much. He's still got wingers to try to contribute.
Yeah, and I think it's good to have those wingers to contribute. I think the point I'm trying to make, though, I just don't think that they still would have a good enough contribution. I think we need a certain caliber of player to sort of.
Saying. And this is what I'm saying. Why when he's looking for an extra another attacker, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's why he wants.
Yeah, but I think it has to be on the level of like a Sane, in my personal opinion. I don't even think Bowen would have that type of contribution either. And that's the thing. We need someone who is a certified player. Like obviously we know we're not going to get a Gnabry, but that kind of caliber there is what would have a huge contribution to the goal tally and stuff like that throughout the season.
Because Rafinha would have been there as well, innit? Because he
was exactly
create and score, innit?
Yes.
So the fact he was going for Rafinha, because he wasn't going for no little lightweight, brother. Because basically, I think Edu even said it. Edu even basically said he went to, because obviously he said he's cool. I don't know if you saw his interview. He said he's cool with the Cuckoo. What's his name? Not Cuckoo. What's his name? His agent. Rafinha's agent is the ex-Barcelona guy.
Deco,
yeah. So he's cool when he's good friends with Deco. So he basically just called him and said, look, that they're interested, blah, 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 blah. But he don't want to waste his time. And then Deco basically said to him, look, all right, cool, like, yeah, cool. But the only thing is that he really wants to go to Barcelona. So that's when he's like, all right, cool. Like he just said,
Yeah,
we're wasting time.
that was always going
So
to be a tricky one because Deco, you know,
yeah,
he played for Barcelona for many years, isn't it? And then
so to show that he's
you
been,
know what I
but to
mean?
show that he has that intent
Yeah,
to go for a player like that, to bring him in up
yeah,
front,
reach out to him. Yeah,
that shows that
yeah,
yeah, they they want that sort of thing, and they're not just
yeah,
relying to sit back on the same last season.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I think maybe like I think Jared Bowen would be a good addition though. I'm not gonna lie because
That's the only one I really know that he's actually linked to now. Obviously, the 3 years thing isn't finished. Obviously, they said Ganabi, but Ganabi's thingy. They mentioned Sane. I really think that's highly unlikely on about 3 areas
yeah,
because not being in Champions League, I think is a big one. They seem to be flowing where they currently are.
yeah. Yeah, Bowen's a good
And
player,
like
man.
and Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
So
he nearly
you know,
destroyed Man City in that game. Do you see that game? I thought,
him and if yeah, because
yeah,
because things to the score, what's his name? Antonio
yeah,
to the score right at the end. It's an
yeah,
easy goal. Somebody went for the chip and everything, but yeah,
exactly.
they got lucky, man.
Yeah,
They got
Jared
lucky,
Bowen
but
was on it, man. And I think that's what we need, man. We need a player like he seems like he'll be a big game player. And that's what I think we need, you know, a big game player. Saka will still get his fair share of games, but I think Jared Bowen, I think definitely for some of the big games to have him on. Yeah, I think he'll be brilliant. His drive and he's hunger, bro. Like the guy just don't stop running. He just run
yeah.
at you. He will run at you
And
and
this
he'll
and you know
outpace you. He's on it.
and this is what I kind of would like. And I don't know about him. I don't mind him as a player. I rate him as a player. Like,
Mm,
but I think it's a bit of a weird one if you have him battling, because battling with Saka for who in the England team and who's gonna wanna, because he ain't gonna come in. Saka's like main boy for Arsenal anyway, not but usually that's the way they talk. And then to bring him in as well, because he's not gonna want to come.
mm.
He's not coming to be no backup. So then
No,
you can tell Saka to be back up, or you can say, okay, you've got to compete. That'd be ruthless, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll be impressed. Do you know what I mean? If they done that,
yeah.
um, yeah, man, it's good. Gross. He's
But
a
I get you. I get you. That is definitely an interesting one. Both English boys as well.
if they
Yeah,
do that, that is a
yeah,
wake up call to Saka. They
yeah,
must have to make sure he gets his deal before before make sure he signs his contract before he gets to get buried in.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I agree. The midfield and the attacker is
Mm.
what we need, and of good level. No second rate. Tillemans looks like it's gonna happen. So, but I'm kind of interested to who, if they do get forward, who that forward
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
who that
That'd
forward
be
is gonna
very
be.
interesting. Very interesting.
I
Yeah.
went through this. Let's do a little quick run through that the team and what you kind of think like Thomas Partey. What you kind of quick one. Thomas
Well,
Partey. What you expecting from him? What you want from him?
Um, Thomas Partey, from what I've expected from the very get-go, man. I just want him to just be that guy in midfield, bro. I just want to see, you know, the strength, um, the hard tackles in your face, but I also want to see him on the ball and just giving those wonderful deliveries as well.
Yeah, we've seen it, man. We've seen him doing it.
Yeah,
So
you've seen him
we've got
bit.
consistent.
The one thing I do have though, the only criticism I have of Partey, I know sometimes he had little injury problems,
Mm.
and I think sometimes he's a bit burnt out or he's playing on a slight injury. So I hope all that is clear. But I want to see more goals from him. I want to see. I want to. You know, bro. When I used to see him play for Atletico Madrid, I ripple that net from like 20 odd yards, and that's what I
Yeah,
want to see. I want to see that confidence. I want to see that confidence where he's just not afraid to bang it and go through. Sort of like, you know, where you used to see sort of players back in the day, the Premier League, like Tiote and all them sort of man there. Do you remember them in Newcastle? That's what I want to see. Them type of them strong kind of Ghanaian man, and them. I want to see it. I want to see that
yeah.
real.
I think Arteta was like, he said, oh yeah, because I think someone asked him and he laughed about his shooting, and he goes, you wouldn't believe, like he goes, oh no, he goes, well, if you see the shots that he does in training, he said, yeah, you won't believe because the way because
Exactly.
the way that he shoots in the game is different. It comes different. But yeah,
Exactly.
anyway,
Yeah.
okay, let's do like okay. So next one, quick one. Can't do it back 30 seconds each. One, Saka.
Yeah. Shaka. Just yeah. All he just needs to just be confident, level-headed. I just want to see his experience shine through, bro. That's all it is. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't
Yeah.
do anything great in particular, but just be there, be confident. I want to see kind of more captain-like performances from him, bro. Just
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. We won't say one and so we won't say Arthur. I won't say. Oh, what about Forlan? What about Balogun?
Balogun. Yeah, we'll see with Balogun.
What you reckon? Loan? You think a loan move or? stay? Or
Um, I think loan. I think he needs to go out alone again. To be honest, he should have been there ahead of Nketiah. If Arteta doesn't rate him like that, then I think there's no point having him and Nketiah. I think maybe he needs to
yeah,
go
we
out
don't.
alone.
Yeah,
Learn
yeah.
your
You don't want
craft.
to be dropping to Nketiah and then
Yeah,
drop into. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Reece Nelson.
Oh, good young player. Mm,
Keep him
where, would-
alone.
where would he fit in? I think loan him again. I don't think he's going to get enough games. But I think he's good enough to get the games and improve. But if that means he ain't going to get it at Arsenal, send him on loan one more time. See how he
Yeah, and
gets
then
on.
I think from him as well. Him and Balogun.
Yeah,
More Reece Nelson. If you're gonna loan him out, try and learn him to a Premier League team.
yeah,
Forest,
yeah, yeah,
Leicester, Forest, Leeds,
yeah,
or something like that,
yeah, yeah.
and
Absolutely,
make
absolutely,
a decision after that. So at least if
absolutely.
if he's good enough, all right, cool, come, you're ready now. If
Yeah,
not, you advertise him in the window. Hopefully he's good enough for someone to pick him up. Okay,
absolutely.
Lokonga.
Oh, Lokonga. For me personally, Lokonga, I would like to keep him, but if we keep him, I think it's time for us to. He needs to be playing ahead of El Neni, in my personal opinion. I know El Neni, for some reason the coaches always like him. I think he's a decent player.
I think yeah,
Experience.
because I think you have to. I think what it is that he would have to earn it. Because see what only he comes in and he's never shit.
Mm,
But he's never, he's never that great. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
He comes in
No,
and he
yeah,
does the job. He comes in and
yeah,
does a job. If the team is
yeah,
playing well, he'll fit in. So I
yeah.
think Lokonga, he should have to probably earn that little bit to jump ahead
Maybe,
of him.
but
Because he's
yeah,
come in and he's
maybe.
looked lost. Because I remember when he's coming, I think he has tried to come in and he looks lost. And then that's why bang, and then he comes straight back in. You know what I mean? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because couldn't afford to keep
But
giving
what I
game
do
game.
say, on that one, if we do bring in Tielemans, yeah, then I
Mm.
think Lokonga has to go on loan. He has to go on loan. Send him to a decent club.
Oh
Let him
yeah,
get
I
his
remember as well. I remember as well, Lenny is not going to be going nowhere because he's signed a contract, isn't it? For a year.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we need to send Lokonga on loan. To be honest, let Sambi get some games in and build up his confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
How Murray.
He needs to go, bro.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
gone
get
then.
rid of him.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need him. Go.
Oh, well, Bolden. Well, Bolden.
Holding.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll say go as well, but we haven't brought in another quality centre back,
Yeah.
so
I was gonna say that. I said me personally, I'll
I'll
keep
keep
him
him.
because I think
Yeah,
4 centre backs is what we need.
yeah.
Um, I would have, yes, so I would just keep on that basis. Niles.
I like Niles. I think Niles.
Mm.
I think there's a spot for him there. I think he could just be just as good as Cedric. But I think when Niles, there's always been the issue. Kind of likes to play midfield. There's always been kind of like a little issue with him. He's not getting enough games for his age. So that's a tricky one. I would like to keep him, but would he be happy? I don't think
And do
he'd
you
be.
know how he did in? Did you know how he did in Roma? I'm not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He done all
He
right.
started off alright.
Yeah, yeah. He started off all right. I mean, he done all right. He done all right. That's all. That's as far as I would say. So, um,
So you say you just keep him this full squad?
um, I would
So
keep him. I would keep if he's happy.
me,
Only if he's happy.
yeah, yeah, same here. Me personally, if full squad player, if he wants to, then he will. But yeah, I think for him personally, he should want to move and go and get some proper time
That's
and
what I
then
think.
play
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
But Kieran Tierney.
Oh, Tierney, that's my boy, man.
So what do you expect from? What do you want from him? Or what do
Uh,
you expect?
I expect what he usually does, bro. I expect him just getting down those flanks, whipping them crosses, and just being exciting and just a whole
Yeah,
load of energy.
he did take a dip though last season. He
He
wasn't
did.
really on top
He
form
did. But
last season.
that's the thing. That's the thing, and that's what I'm talking about. The mentality. I just want to see him really own his spot. And maybe there's a wake up call. We've got Zinchenko here as well, so
Mm.
I expect him to really drive and really push on and sort of try and keep his spot. But I think
Uh-huh.
he'll be good without the injuries. So injury
Cool.
free, I think Tierney will be good. So yeah, that's what I expect from him. Keep bombing
Oh
him.
wow. Okay, back to another we talked about. So Lucas Torreira.
Not a fan of him, G. Not a fan of him. If I had it my way, he would have been out of that door a long time, bro. No one don't want him. He
Yeah,
goes to
that's the thing.
Italy and that they don't want him out there either.
The annoying thing is, I actually rated him when he first came, and it's just the fact that his thing of wanting to his personality and him wanting to leave and all that sort of stuff, he's just messed it all up. But he was, remember when he first come, he was like, people was talking about, oh yeah, next Kante, he's the best signing of the
Bro, he was a,
season,
he was a
all that
little
sort of
pit
stuff,
bull,
and
bro. He'll be at your
yeah, and then it's
ankles.
just And he just started to go, "Oh, I want to leave because he's this and that, and it just, yeah, it just didn't, yeah.
And I think with Torreira as well, like Emery was playing sort of out. Was it Emery or
No, what it was, what Emmy was doing, what it was, I get what he tried, it just didn't work. He
yeah,
tried to press from the front because there wasn't much
yes,
people pressing properly. So he
yeah,
tried a thing and it just didn't work. And
yeah,
that's just what
yeah,
happened. Because and the way it was as well, what you got to remember, Emmy didn't get the plays he wanted. So
yeah,
he genuinely, I think he just tried to do the best of what he had, and he tried that with Torreira, and it just didn't really work.
yeah, yeah.
All right, Cedric.
Cedric, he's all right. I expect him to. Mm, I don't really expect much from Cedric, to be honest. I expect a lot from him, but I just don't think he has really that ability. I think what we see from him is really the best we're going to get from Cedric. And in my personal opinion, if Maitland Niles is happy and content with being in there, I would expect him to sort of fight for that position and get hold of that sort of that right wing back slot.
Mm,
I want Maitland Niles to really push on with that. So yeah,
okay. Elneny.
just like usual, I see El Neni just sort
Yeah.
of just be there. Uh,
Filler,
yeah, be a filler, a nice safe option.
and he's
Don't
happy with it as well.
yeah, yeah. Don't overstep the boundaries. Just play within your remit and keep the retention. Good player in
Cool.
that sort. Brilliant.
Bellerin.
Bellerin can go. Go. Don't need him. It's done. It's done. No, what we've
Okay,
had him for
cool.
many years. Come from the Wenger regime.
Mm,
You was out there in Spain, done your little thing like there. They're just like whatever, Bellerin. Same thing. Everyone can see
yeah,
through these players. So, I don't want him at Arsenal anymore. There's no really no real room for him. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. All right. Ramsdale.
Wonderful goalkeeper, and I expect him to really push on and be even better. Um, his rashness, I think,
Yeah,
he needs to try and
mature. Yeah,
get that under
mature.
control. Yeah, just try
Yeah,
and mature a little bit. Try and read the game better. But I think that's also part of his game. His reaction responses are mad. But as long as he just just keep calm, keep
yeah,
calm.
yeah, yeah.
But with all of that, wonderful goalkeeper, a bit unorthodox. Kind of reminds me of Manuel Neuer still. Kind of
Mm,
reminds me of Manuel Neuer still, the way he just rushes out and he gets to the ball. He just makes it. He's hot-headed. Just goes. That's what
mm,
I do like about him. But just try and read the game a bit better.
yeah. Next one, but we know about this one because he's already gone on loan, any Tavares. So we'll leave him because he's already gone on
Yeah,
loan. But I just would quick note on him. I thought because his defensive wasn't the best. He was probably someone you play on the free. So
yeah,
not in the free, sorry, not in the free, but he'll
yeah,
play on the flank. So you play the free at the back and then him on the flanks because he can bomb forward. He's actually really good at bombing forward. He reminds me of
yeah,
Tierney.
yeah,
Tierney, like,
yeah,
but he's defensive and yeah, I don't know, man. It's like he just lost some confidence and he's been a bit
yeah,
wayward at one point. But anyway,
yeah,
he's on
yeah.
loan, so don't watch that. Smith Rowe.
Oh, that's my boy, man. Smith Rowe, man. You know what? It's looking kind of a little bit oversaturated in there in
And
his,
that's what I
in
say.
his
He's good. Good.
So it's a bit hard for Smith Rowe, but I still what I like about Smith Rowe is
Actually, do
yeah.
you know what? It depends actually. It's a good because he normally plays on Martinelli the left side, isn't it?
Mm,
So that's Martinelli's side. And other than
mm,
that, there isn't anyone else. It's just the fact that Jesus sometimes when he plays centrally and just drifts out to the wide. So
mm,
I guess it's still the same. I guess that unless they because the next year, yeah, I think it's kind of
yeah.
similar really.
So
But
yeah,
yeah.
Smith Rowe. I mean, he's a good player, good goal scorer. I mean,
Mm,
he's good at sort of creeping into the box. His drives, his runs are wicked.
mm,
But what I want to see more from Smith Rowe is being able to sort of have that ability to do it throughout the whole 90 minutes. I don't
mm,
necessarily not just be a sort of player that, like a super sub or, you can only play a certain amount of games and you've got to drop him for X amount of games. What I want to
yeah,
see from him is when he's playing, sort of just be a bit more in control of what you're doing throughout the game. Do you see what I mean? Your touches, your movement. But on the attack, fantastic, wonderful play. He's got a good ability, that one. And yeah, I think that's gonna come with age. So I expect him just to
cool.
sort of bomb on like he did before.
Well, I'm gonna jump to one year because he was actually kind of like a mixy, kind of like he's an old, been here already, but he's like a new signing, and I didn't put him in the new signings, but he's kind of a new player. And the next player, kind of, you probably speak about him. So it's William Saliba.
Mm.
So
Saliba
William,
is a
yeah, he's like
wonderful. You know what? It's funny. We haven't touched on Saliba, and it's a shame. He looks very
And that's
good.
what I said.
Looks like a
Yeah,
very
that's what
good
I said about.
defender.
He's kind of like a new signing. He
Yeah,
really
he is.
is.
He is like a new signing, and that's why I'm happy to keep holding. You see what I mean? Because to be honest, we brought Saliba back, so it's kind of like now we've got Gabs, Saliba, and we've got Ben White, and then also you've got Holding as well. So that's really
Yeah,
good. But I expect Saliba to really try and get a hold of that number one spot as a central defender. Fam. I think this is time. I think he's a good player. He's good. He's good with the ball. Good ball playing defender. I expect to see him really build a real partnership with Gabriel. Also, to play three at the back. Him and Ben White is there as well.
Mhm.
I think the defense is looking really good.
That's what I'm saying. Because from before, like just looking at him, the way he plays in his structure, I was like, like even when Ben White was there, I was like, I would like when he comes in or comes back, I didn't want him to be sold. Play him with Gabriel, but a lot of people say, no, play White. No, White's better. I'm like, no, but if you just look at that, imagine you just go as two defenders and you look at Saliba and Gabriel together. Do you know what I mean? Just looking at them, they're both big, tall. One's left and one's right. Do you know what I mean? Like just their presence. Do you know what I mean? It's a big
They're
thing, and they both
present.
play.
They have a
They both
presence.
can play. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, look forward to that. Look
It's
forward
all
to that,
like
and
the
that's
big
what
boy
team.
defenders back in the day, man. Like when
Mm,
you used to see the Adams and the Keons and that, and the Sol Campbells and that. Like that's what I'm saying. Just two big defenders. I know he's young, but he's a
play,
really
they can
good
play
player.
ball.
He's got a lot of potential. So
So
um,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna do that. So what
yeah,
about okay? So going back now to Ben White.
yeah. Ben White, good defender. I think what I saw of Ben White, he's a good ball playing defender as well. He's a good player. I think he's naturally a good player. I think he can sometimes be a little bit out muscled. I think he still needs a player to be like Gabriel to be playing with, or maybe like a Saliba. Um, but I just really expect him just to push on and just try and be bit more strong physically. That's what I want to see more from Ben White. Just a bit more physical. Um, in his game. But yeah, other than that, I think he's a good player with reading the game and stuff. Good defender to have. So
Yeah, and I
yeah,
think you them as a and I think them as a free would be that. But I mean that'd be good. But them
very
as a
good.
free,
Yeah,
if
that would be
they want to
brilliant.
do that. All right, cool. Next one. I think you spoke about Shaq already. Yeah, Pepe.
Right, Pepe. That's a good one. I've got a lot to say on Pepe.
Oh gosh.
Pepe, he's got wonderful skill, good ability. Now I think that we need to play to his strengths a little bit, but I think that he needs to have that personality that demands that we also play to his strengths. That's the thing that he's missing. Pepe
Mm,
doesn't have much confidence when
that's
I
when
see him play, he doesn't really have that much confidence. Even especially when the going gets tough, he doesn't always show himself. What I want from him is to build your confidence, bro. Now I don't know if it's something that the coaches have to get from him, or maybe things going on in his personal life that where he needs to man up. And I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean it as like he needs to bring a level of maturity and confidence on the pitch. Because once he does, you see all those trickeries that he does, he would do it, and he'll certain times he'll be flawless. At certain times he will do it, and he will not care, bro. And that's what we need. We need someone who's got that hunger, and they
and
get what I'm saying.
maybe with like Shevchenko and Jesus, then maybe I don't know. Maybe they might get that passing there because what he plays on the right, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe they might get the passing going
I,
a bit more. Because I know because Pepe is not a, and I think this is what people look at and they're trying to think. He's not a Mane, Salah, Sterling sort of winger. Yeah, he's not that sort of one. He's just giving the ball. They'll run at you all day. Give the ball to any of them three. They're just gonna run at you all day, and they can do that. He's not that person. He's a get it, pass, move, go. Do you know what I mean? Come inside. He plays ball when they give him 1-2, then he's gone. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
He's not that sort of, he's not, yes. And I think and the fact that I guess we've never really had the balance in the team. You know what I mean? This team's
mm,
just getting put together now. It's kind of not been that great for him. And they're not really played in the way that he plays. Like if you watch him for Lille, it's very touch, pass and go, pass and go, pass and go,
yeah.
playing flicks and tricks to someone else. Like him playing with like Giroud and Ramsey and Cazorla and then Portman. You know, what I mean, he will love that. I mean, pass,
Mm.
flick, and all that sort of stuff.
But
Because he's a very pass and move person. He's very pass
he,
and move.
he is, and that's the thing. What I say with that is, I think Pepe needs to demand that. I think you know, like your character on the pitch and stuff. When you got that sort of character on the pitch, I think that he needs to kind of demand that you also play to his strengths and he's going to do
Yeah,
something. There's a lot of times where I've seen him come on and he's kind of like, I just don't really feel like he
he just
has
looks
any
a bit.
real,
Yeah,
like he really wants it, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He does. He looks like that, and sometimes of late he's been better, but in Ketchup
mm.
before looked like that as well. Like
Yeah,
we
and
used to
Ketia,
be like,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
like come on, like you got to be like more hungry than that.
yeah,
And he
exactly.
and Pepe has a little bit of a clueless look sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. That and then facial expressions, that's not for the pitch, bro. Because his teammates are seeing that as well. Them man are seeing it like, you know what I mean? So of course they're not gonna play to his strengths. But if he has that sort of come on, lads, come on, and that encouragement, and he's kind of
He's
like
another
he
one,
shows
and
himself.
yeah, and he's another one. Like if he can get him, if um Arteta can get him to perform, that will be like a new signing. I imagine like Pepe like actually just started to
Absolutely.
perform now.
Right, that
That would be
left
like
foot's
a new
dangerous,
signing.
you know. He's got a dangerous left foot, you know. But you know when you
Yeah,
can't say he's got that left foot, and on a good day, you see Pepe think, oh, he's fantastic. When the going gets tough, sometimes he's struggling. And it's like, bro, demand it.
yeah.
Force that play, bro. Sometimes you got force that play. Do your thing, bro. Like, don't watch anything. And sometimes I feel like he's within himself. He plays within himself. And I think,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think you know what he's all part of the whole team. I thought actually, no, I said that at the end. Ketia, next one.
um, Nketiah, he started to show himself. He started to get a few goals. I'm still not overly convinced. I don't think he can really do it by himself, and I don't mean that, you know, I expect him to play with the team, but I don't really see him getting the ball and sort of just going through it, if that makes sense. It's sort of like what we're sort of providing or putting on the plate for him. That's how I see it in Nketiah a little bit. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to get his fair share
Yeah,
of goals.
it's like when the going gets a bit tough. It's like that's what I'm saying now. When it's a bit of a tough thingy game, is I don't think he's as bottom as that kind of lock it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and we'll see when them. That's when we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm hoping that he will learn a little bit through AJ Jesus. I hope that he builds a good relationship with him as well as some of the other boys, and I hope that maybe he starts some of it starts to rub off on him a little bit of
Mm,
how a striker needs to be performing, if that makes sense. So, but I expect him to still get a few goals, and yeah, I just want these guys to just go out there and play as men, bro. Play
mm,
like, you know what, you can't lose today like this, you know. I
uh,
can't lose. That's what I want to see, is the mentality. If I start seeing that, you're going to see a lot better. You're going to see a lot better performances from Nketiah, Pepe, and so forth. So that's what I want to see this season.
but Tomiyasu,
Ah, he's wonderful, man. I just hope he's not injured anymore. I just want him to get off his injury, bro. I want him to
yeah,
recover from his injury, get back on the field, and do what he does best. Good
mm,
player, hard to beat, very hard to beat. Reads the game wonderfully like a defender. Like if you get him one on one, boy, you know, it's really a 50-50. You're not really beating him.
mm.
That's what I like about him. And then also going forward, he's pretty decent as well. So I expect him just to get a little bit better going forward. And once he does, we're gonna have a complete win back there, bro.
Yeah. Leno,
Leno, I think Leno can go, man. I like
yeah,
him, but he wants first team football, and you know, and he deserves it as well. In not necessarily at a club like Arsenal, but I'm sure he can go to Germany and play for a team like Hertha Berlin, or you know, maybe a Leverkusen, or I
mm,
think that's where he played before anyway, or you know, maybe a Hamburg or something. He can go over there and get a first team slot somewhere. You know what I mean? He's a decent goalkeeper, but for us, I think his time's done. Ramsdale's there. Got Matt Turner, I think it's yeah,
all right. So the first of the Gabs, Gabriel, defender Gabriel.
yeah, that's my boy,
Congratulations.
man. That's my boy, man. Wonderful defender, man. I expect him. I think I've told you this before as well. Like I expect him, like
Come to be
maybe
captain.
hopefully,
Right, play.
yeah, he's definitely. I think he's definitely captain material. And I also expect him this season to kind of show why he's actually going either considered now or soon to be considered one of the best defenders in Europe. That's what I expect from Gabriel. Man. I've got real high
I
hopes.
agree. Yeah, I like Gabriel.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
You
Gabriel.
know what? When you look at him, he can be a complete monster and just dreadful for, you know, players don't, you don't want to play against Gabriel, really. But what it
Mm,
is, And I think him and Ben White, they had such a good connection last year. They had, it works really well. The defense was really good. Unfortunately, sometimes we wasn't scoring enough goals, so we wasn't outscoring our opponents. And we dropped certain points when really we should have been able to nick a goal or two and unlock defenses. If we had done that, you would, it would have made the defense look so much better.
Yeah, definitely. That's why when people were saying about Saka being and then players being player of the season, I'm like, no way. I know he probably did get it, but I'm like, no way. They were nowhere consistent. The most consistent people were the defense for the most of the season. And obviously they faltered towards the end, but I mean, they weren't scoring goals. Do you know what I mean as well? So that doesn't help. And you got to remember, defenses take constant pressure. I mean, whereas in the forwards, they can, whatever defensive behind.
I mean, you could have given it to anyone. I mean, you could have even given it to Ramsdale. I mean, Ramsdale was bloody fantastic. He was freaking fantastic, especially one-on-one situations. He was very good.
Yeah. Okay. So next, Gabriel Martinelli.
That's my boy as well. We all know Martinelli. All we need a bit more composure, G. That's all. That's what he needs. Composure. More composure. Yeah, he's gonna score more goals.
I'm looking forward to this season.
Yeah.
So when I saw because obviously trying to do the game, like he's gonna terrorize. Like when I see the way he played, like even against Seville, I'm like, and I saw Trent the other day. I said he's gonna terrorize you again. Like he's gonna terrorize you again. But yeah, if you can get that composure, like you don't, I mean, then
But the thing is, I'm sure that's something that they're also aware of. He's also aware of that as a player as well. I'm sure that he wants to get more goals. And with more goals, we're going to be looking at a player that's soon to be a world beater, a world-class player. All he needs to do is get the goals.
Yeah. The way he
he's exciting. He's very exciting, bro. He's got so much hunger. He's a beast.
The thing is, the way I like it, his two probably best games I can remember for last season was against Liverpool.
Liverpool.
He terrorized Trent. He terrorized Trent, and when he terrorized Cancelo. Watch that game. I would even watch that game again if something. But when he terrorized Cancelo in that game as well, I was like,
right. And you could see that he loved it. He loved actually playing against top quality defenders, bro. That's what I like to see. Young players. He wanted to actually show himself against them. That's what we want to see, and he's got that in abundance. With composure, where he's getting them goals, we're looking at a beast right there, G.
There you go. Come to one of your other boys, Mr. Martin on the pod. Your boy.
Oh, hey, you know what? I just expect him just to just do what he's doing, man. But just keep it consistent. Even when the going gets tough, just keep having that belief in himself that he can still unlock defenses or come up with some type of magic. Because I look at him and I think he's very creative and he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, I think he's this like I don't know, like when I watch him, you see him try to speed up the game and all sorts, but he just seems really clean. Like he doesn't he doesn't impose himself on games, I think, enough. Like his game is he's good. Like he does. I see him push, I see him try and all that sort of stuff, and he's got techers. But I want to feel him in the game. See, like De Bruyne, you feel him in the game, on top of the game. Do you know what I mean? Pulling strings.
De Bruyne's a beast, man.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying when you feel him pulling strings. But even other teams, when they have that person, you can feel him pulling strings. On the guard, he does well, but then I don't feel his presence. So I think me personally, I want him to impose himself a bit more in that game, in games.
Yeah, but let's remember though, his first season with us. How many
No, a second, because maybe he's on loan before.
He was on loan. That's his first season signed as an Arsenal player. I think.
Yeah.
No, sometimes it takes about 2 to 3 seasons to really get the grips of the Premier League. That's what I expect from him this season, is to really impose himself in the games and create more chances. But the technical ability and his passing range at the moment, still good. So, yeah.
And the last one is young boy Saka.
Saka, just keep the consistency, bro. That's all it is with Saka. That's all it is. He's got the play. Saka's a very exciting player. He can get his fair share of goals. But I just expect him to rise up and know that we love him. That's it. Once he knows that we love him, play for the badge. Play for it, bro.
I think he knows that. I personally think, and this is probably a lot